On the night the ocean turned silver, two children were born under the same moon, one to the sea throne, and one to the dry land. Deep beneath the waves, in the glowing kingdom of Aqualise, Queen Mermaid held her newborn daughter as coral bells rang softly around the palace. The child bore the royal mark, a faint spiral of light on her wrist, said to glow only for the true heir of the sea. The elders bowed. The line of the sea crown was secure. Far above, in a small fishing village along the same coast, a human woman screamed through labor as waves crashed violently against the shore. Her son was born weak, silent, and pale, as if the sea itself had taken something from him. What no one knew, what only the ocean remembered, was that the two births were never meant to happen that way. For the sea witch Neretha, time was running out. Ancient prophecy spoke of a child who would unite sea and land, breaking the old laws that kept merfolk hidden and divided. If that child grew to rule Aqualise, Neretha's power would end forever. The heir had to be removed. That night, while the palace slept, the witch slipped through shadows of kelp and silence. She did not kill the heir. That would awaken the sea guardians. Instead, she did something far worse. She swapped the children. The mermaid princess was carried to the surface, wrapped in illusion, her tail sealed into human legs. The human baby was taken below, his lungs enchanted to breathe water, his legs fused into a tail that shimmered with borrowed magic. By morning, destiny had been rewritten. The human girl was named Mira. She grew up by the sea, barefoot and curious, always drawn to the water. She could hold her breath longer than any child in the village. She heard songs in the waves when others heard only wind. At night, she dreamed of coral halls and glowing cities beneath the sea. The villagers whispered. "She's strange," they said. "Too close to the ocean." Mira tried to be normal. She tried to stay on land. But the sea called her in ways she could not explain. Whenever she touched salt water, her wrist burned faintly, though no mark could be seen. Below the waves, the swapped boy was named Kale. He grew as a prince of Aqualise, taught to command tides and speak to sea creatures. But something was wrong. His magic was unstable. The sea crown never responded to him fully. Elders murmured that the bloodline felt thin. Kale felt it too. He did not belong. While other merfolk swam effortlessly, Kale tired easily. He dreamed of walking, of feet touching sand, of a sun that burned instead of soothed. He watched the surface with a longing he could never explain. The queen loved him fiercely, but the sea did not. Years passed. On Myra's 16th birthday, a storm unlike any other struck the coast. Waves rose like mountains. The village panicked. Boats were torn apart. Mira ran toward the shore against all warnings, drawn by a voice calling her name. The moment the water touched her waist, pain exploded through her body. She screamed, and fell beneath the waves. But she did not drown. Her legs fused into a tail of deep blue and silver. The spiral on her wrist flared bright as the moon. Memories flooded back, songs, laws, names she had never been taught. She was not human. She was the true heir of Aqualise. Below, the sea trembled. The sea crown awakened. In the palace, Kale cried out as power ripped away from him. The lie holding his form shattered. His tail split into legs. He sank, choking, saved only by guards who dragged him to an air chamber. The truth could no longer be hidden. Mira was brought before the sea throne in chains of coral, not as a prisoner, but as a test. The elders watched as the crown rose from its pedestal and floated toward her, glowing brighter with every heartbeat. It settled on her head. The ocean itself bowed. Queen Mermaid fell to her knees, tears streaming as she finally understood what had been stolen from her all those years ago. Neretha emerged from the darkness then, laughing, her deception revealed. She claimed the sea would never accept a ruler who had lived as human. Mira stepped forward, unafraid. "I have lived both worlds," she said. "I know hunger, fear, love, and loss. I know the land and the sea. That was never your mistake, it was your failure to understand the prophecy." With the crown's power, Mira shattered Neretha's magic, binding the witch to the deepest trench where light never reaches. Kale stood before her afterward, trembling. "I was never meant to rule," he said quietly. "But I never meant to steal your life." Mira looked at him, not with anger, but with understanding. "You didn't steal it," she said. "You survived it." She decreed that Kale would not be cast out. Instead, he would become the first emissary of the surface, a bridge between sea and land, something neither world had ever allowed before. Under Queen Myra's rule, the old laws changed. The sea no longer hid in fear. The land no longer hunted in ignorance. And the story of the swapped heir became a warning whispered through tides and generations. You can steal a throne. You can steal a life. But you can never steal destiny. And beneath the moonlit waves, the true heir finally ruled, not just the sea she was born to, but the world she had learned to love.